The stock market in Indonesia, we can expect to grow about 10 to 15% annually. Annyeonghaseyo. Hello, ASEAN Path TV. I'm Edwin Ridwan, Investment Director of BP Jam Sostek or BPJA's Ketenagakerjaan, Social Security Trust Fund for workers in Indonesia. BPJS Ketenagakerjaan was first formed by the government in 1977 under the name Perum Aztek. It was a state-owned enterprise, and then the latest development was in 2014. According to the law number 24, Jam Sostek was transformed to become a public entity under the name BP Jam Sostek or BPJS Ketenagakerjaan. So we are currently not a corporation, we are a public entity. Management of this entity is actually directly appointed by the President of the Republic of Indonesia. BPJS Ketenagakerjaan, we have a long-term investment horizon. As of March 2021, our total assets under management is close to 500 trillion rupiah, which is equivalent to about 34 billion US dollars. Mostly we invested in the government bonds and corporate bonds, which amount to about 67%. And then 12% of our funds we invest in time deposits for the time being, 21% in equity, and 1% in direct investments. As a state-governed body, we are regulated by government regulations and also the law. Some of those are, in general terms, we have a minimum of 50% mandated by the law to invest in government bonds, but we are allowed to invest in equities and also in 5% in direct investments. At the moment, we are prohibited to invest abroad, but I hope in the near future we will be able to invest not only in Indonesia but also abroad. Indonesia's stock market is honestly in the growing stage at this moment. We are part of the emerging markets. Currently, there are about 700 companies listed in the Indonesia Stock Exchange. With the potential of Indonesia economy, I mean, we are the fourth most populous country in the world, and most of our population are young people. So we have a demographic bonus. I think that will last about 10 to 15 years going forward. So I think with that kind of background, I think the stock market in Indonesia, we can expect to grow about 10 to 15% annually for the next few years. As we all know that the pandemic is going on all over the world, including in Indonesia. The investors are looking forward to the vaccination rollout, and I think with the current timeline given by the Ministry of Health, about 80% of Indonesians will be vaccinated by January next year. That would give the investors a good reason to buy into the market, maybe in the second half of this year. But the recovery of the economy is still very early in the stage, so on a wait and see stance at this moment. But I think the recovery will take a K-shape, meaning there are sectors that will benefit a lot from the recovery, but also there will be sectors that will not be advantaged by the recovery. So I think, for example, tourism, we are very positive on that if the recovery comes. But we think that the recovery in tourism, for example, is more advantageous to villas, for example, not hotels, because after the pandemic, people will still have a trauma. They want to spend the holiday maybe only with friends and families, very small groups instead of in large groups. Also, maybe people will prefer to travel in private cars instead of in mass transportations, for example. So that's our view of what's going to happen in the next 5 years. Digital tech companies listed or in the stage of going to list in Indonesia is quite limited. Also, I think a lot of digital companies, they can list outside of Indonesia. So I think it's the homework of the local regulators and also stock market to be able to attract digital companies to list in Indonesia instead of letting them list outside. So we are currently speaking with the regulators and also the stock market, so that in Indonesia we will be able to list SPACs or SPACs, special purpose acquisition companies, with we as the sponsors. About 5% of our assets under management we are allowed to invest in direct investments. That means about 25 trillion rupiah, or about $2 billion. So at the moment, we are actively discussing things with the sovereign wealth funds of Indonesia, because we think that we need to invest to find the next maybe unicorns, also the next sector that will outperform the market. And this is the right time, I think, to invest. Also, we would like to create jobs for the Indonesians by doing direct investments. We are looking into investing in digital companies, but maybe not in the early stage, but probably on the later stage of the finance of the investing cycle. We would like to comply with the law. We can invest directly, of course, but in case that is not feasible, we can structure it through some kind of structures, for example, convertible bonds, for example. Otherwise, we cannot attract digital companies to list in Indonesia, and that would be a loss for us.
You are not investing in like overseas, but is it possible to invest in the fund of overseas from the other countries, but is to invest in Indonesian market?
I think that is avenue to explore. We are very open to explore, although we cannot say whether we can do it or not at this stage. But I think it's a good thing to explore. Main difficulty in managing pension funds in Indonesia is actually the availability of long-term assets. Those assets are very rare. I mean, for example, for corporate bonds, most of our corporates, they issue bonds in 3 or 5 years tenors. We have the need to invest long term, for example 10 years or more, and it's almost non-existent in this market. So that is, I think, the most challenging thing that we currently face. On top of that, I think with the current interest rates environment, which is ultra low interest rates, not only in Indonesia but also globally, I think that would add more challenge to us as the managers of these funds. Current low interest rate environment will last for about 3 or so years, but after that we expect inflation to shoot up.
What is the main points that you check the most before investing in stock listed?
We have a minimum requirement, for example, in terms of liquidity of the stocks, also on the market cap. For example, we cannot invest in stocks that have market cap lower than 3 trillion rupiah, for example, or maybe a daily turnover of less than 20 billion rupiah. Because of that, we tend to invest in bigger market caps and also on more liquid stocks. Because of the current situation, there are not many listed digital companies in Indonesia. I think the way to invest in digital related companies is not through listed companies, but most probably through the direct route. So that's why we are going to increase our exposure to the direct investments. So currently only less than 1% that we invest in the direct investments. But going forward, up to 5% of the total assets under management. So that would translate into about $2 billion or 25 trillion rupiah. We are currently actively talking with a lot of investors, venture capitals, and also the sovereign wealth funds. So because currently we have not many experience in doing direct investments, we would like to cooperate and also to co-invest with those investors. If you believe in the Indonesian economy, we are currently the 4th most populous country in the world. We have 273 million people. Most of them are young. Stable political system, and also we are a democracy. I think that would give a good background for economic growth going forward. Of course, we have our ups and downs because of the pandemic right now, but I think in the long term, our outlook is still very rosy. So I think it's very good if you look at the Indonesian stock market to invest in. Thank you very much for listening to us. I hope you find this insightful. We also would like to invite you to invest in Indonesia. Kamsahamnida.